Marsten joins us now to talk about the new album Spectacular Heartbreak, and also we have the new single Red Wine and White Dresses, where Hayley likens heartaches to a red wine stain on a white dress. Hayley, what a great metaphor.
Thank you. I tried, and I'm glad to see people understood it. If it wasn't a metaphorical stain, I probably would still be heartbroken about it. Thankfully, I had, emotional nappy sand of time to get that stain off of me.
Of course, this comes on the back of the single Wendy, all about your mum. And I'm just thinking to myself what Wendy would say. Wendy would say, if you're going out drinking red wine, Hayley, wear the little black dress, for goodness sake.
I feel like you're probably correct in that. She's definitely a safety cat for sure.
You wrote this song with Brad Butcher. How did that come about?
Brad and I have been mates for a while now. We're both Central Queenslanders, and I had this idea called Red Wine, White Dress for ages, and I tried to write it about 58,000 times by myself, and I just could never get it to work right. And so I'd written a whole song, and I was like, ugh, this is not right. And I sent Brad a message and said, hey, you're going to do a co-write this? I've got this idea. I don't know if you like it, but just come over, we'll have a coffee and have a chat and see what you reckon. And he totally flipped for it, loved it, completely loved it. And so we went through and edited it all, and just so proud of the song that we came up with. It's one of my favourites on the album.
Did you know before you started that you were going to produce it with Matt Fell, or how did that relationship come together?
Yeah, I think I always knew that the album was going to be done with Matt. He and I worked together on my previous release, which is an EP called Lone Star. And then we actually recorded Wendy and Red Wine, White Dress at the end of last year. So I always knew that Matt would be the right person to steer the ship on this album. And being in the studio this year in June, recording the rest of the album was such an amazing experience. We really put in some crazy stuff into this album, so I'm really excited that we got to do all those extra dramatic things, and Matt was totally on board with all my ideas, so it was just, I couldn't ask for a better experience, my first album recording, really.
We're speaking with Hayley Marsten. She's got her brand new album out, and the new single we'll be talking about tonight is Red Wine and White Dress. You mentioned there that this is the debut album. What's the difference of holding the little album in your hand as opposed to the EP?
I feel like the album kind of feels a little bit more grown up. I feel like it's really easy to write, well, probably not easy. It's a lot easier to write 6 great songs. But I feel like being able to tell a great story with 11 songs with a little bit more pressure on myself, I think. So I'm really excited to finally have that space to play with. Obviously, I'm very much into lyrics, and I love being a songwriter. So for me, it was a real dream to be able to kind of visit some parts of the emotional spectrum I probably haven't been able to before in my EPs. It feels like a real proper snapshot of who I am at the moment as an artist and a person.
Tamworth this weekend. We've got a few in New South Wales, and we are back in Queensland at Billawheeler on Saturday the 12th of October. Then you're over to Tasmania, back to New South Wales, Victoria, and then we finish up the tour back down at the Hometown Fest in Brisbane on Saturday the 23rd of November. And then obviously, are we looking at doing some Tamworth stuff in January?
Absolutely, I wouldn't miss Tamworth for the world. I'm still fine-tuning all of my Tamworth stuff, but I will definitely be there in 2020.
It's been great to catch up with you tonight, Hayley, and we look forward to listening to this album all the way through. Folks, if you want to find out more about Hayley Marsten, Tracy did mention it, that she's very active on all of her social media. You can find her in all of those places.
And buy the music. You can get it on the website, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, all the platforms. She's out there.
There's no excuses, folks. So we're going to play the song now. Great to catch up with her. This is the single co-written by Brad Butcher. It's called Red Wine and White Dress.